I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit vpn.fm to discover more.
There's a cat over here. There's a cat over there. And the wrong one died. And the wrong one died.
Welcome to The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of catastrophe. I'm your host, Mike Abrams, and today we have another amazing guest. We're working with the Fulton Theatre's amusement park production of Cats to bring you a series of episodes this summer with their cast and everyone that is involved in the production. We're kicking off the series with Katie Sina, who is playing Jellylorum. So thank you, Katie, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, excited to have you. I love talking to Jellylorums, and I saw your production, so I got to see your performance, and it was amazing.
Oh, thanks.
So let's start, though, with your history with cats, because I always love, it's like, there's a lot of times when you get in a production, like a regional production, there's a mixed crowd. There's either like you're super excited that Cats is your show for the season, or you're just like, I got to do Cats. So where are you on that spectrum?
It's funny that you say it like that. I think I'm probably right in the middle, only because of my current age, because I'm in my 40s now, and this is my first experience performing Cats. Mm-hmm. It was the first show I ever saw on Broadway. I was in high school, and it changed my life. I mean, I knew from a very early age that, music theater was what I was going to do. So I've always been in music theater. I'd always listened to since it had come out, listened to the cast recording, and finally got to see it in New York. And then, it was all I listened to and dreamed of being a part of. I auditioned when I finally moved to New York in 2002. I auditioned for the national tour every chance I could get. And that was, the original concept and choreo, and I finally did get cast in it. However, I didn't take it, which is wild, but I had a bunch of other contracts lined up at different regional equity houses, and I knew at that point in my career I was really trying to line that up, so whenever I became equity, I would have relationships with pre-existing relationships with theaters. So I didn't end up taking it. However, my best friend in college did get the tour, and he did take it. So when I was in between contracts in 2003, I went and stayed with the national tour this was the American national tour that went into Canada, because I stayed with the Vancouver when the cast was in Vancouver. I stayed with them for a full week, saw the show every single day with them. And these kids were doing this show. They could go out after, they could get up and do the show a couple times a day again. They were young, and I was young, and I just really fell in love as an audience member with the experience of the show, because I truly describe it as an experience rather than, you're going to see a musical. Well, you're going to this immersive experience, And I knew a lot of the cats and kittens as people, so seeing them bring the story to life was so beautiful. And my best friend was Skimbleshanks at the time, so of course I loved Skimble, and I've always had a respect for the show. I know people seem to have very strong opinions as audience members, of course, you know that, but I've always loved it. And then also growing up, my little sister and I would act out Cats and make our family sit through our interpretation of Cats many, many times. So the fact that I'm finally doing it in my 40s, which I never thought would be when I'd be dancing this show, is kind of a dream come true, honestly. And I truly love our director and associate director very much as humans in my life. They're good friends, so that they've trusted me because I know how precious this show is to them.
Very much so.
With this show. And, Jelly was never a role I would have considered myself for in my younger years. But now I feel so appropriately cast in this part and so connected with this mama cat. I am a mom in real life too, which is, I think does bring, you bring a little bit of yourself into everything, but it does make me view this show so much differently than I used to. And I have a true urge to love and nurture and care through the show as a cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a couple follow-ups, so
Okay, great.
I'm gonna hit a couple of these. So one was, who did you get cast as for the tour?
So I was cast as Jenny in the tour.
Okay.
Because I'm a strong tapper as well. But I really wanted Bomb. I think everybody did.
Okay. And then you said that you and your sister did productions growing up. What was that story?
Oh, what story was it when we acted out?
Yeah.
We played every cat. So we really took turns playing every single part of the show. So we tried to follow. It's funny because at that point I hadn't actually seen the show, but you can listen to it. It's a sung through show, a played through show. So you can listen to it and envision your storyline. So we would just take on whatever character was narrating what. And we just thought the Jellicle ball was just this complete dance around off everywhere as a cat. But then we'd play Skimble, we'd play the Gumby cat, we'd play whoever they were describing. One of us would sing, the other would play the part,
Okay. So you went through basically the album and covered it.
I'm gonna say we played every role. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. It's range. You've got to be able to do it.
Exactly.
Okay, and then the tour would have been the 5th national tour, at least by the markings that the Wikipedia pages deemed these.
Yep.
And this one went on for many years. Mm-hmm. And so you jumped in and got to see it. You went every night. You got to experience it all. And besides that, you had seen it on Broadway, I assume, as a high schooler. Yep. And then was there basically a gap between then and, hey, I'm about to audition for it again and I get it now?
Yeah, so I have not seen the show since I saw the national tour.
Okay.
And then I was in high school in the late 90s, so that's when I would have seen it on Broadway. I think it was 97 is what it would have been, 96, 97.
Okay, okay. And then so at the time you knew that I'm going to be doing theater. Did you walk out of that show saying this is a dream show, or I want to do theater, but cats is cats?
Yeah. So it was a dream show, but I think as a dancer, I've danced my entire life. I've also sang my entire life. And while my heart has been this given and, gifted and driven dancer, technically I've had to work very hard for all of my technique. And I've always been in class. And when I was a dance dancer in all the shows I was doing, I was always in class, but being on my spot, on my leg, didn't come easy to me. So I've always worked very hard for my flexibility, for my technique. So I don't know if I had the opportunity to go into many more cats calls, or since really I just chose not to do it. I don't think I auditioned for it again. Oh no, that's not true. There's one regional theater, I probably shouldn't name their name, that was doing cats, and they ran their audition at the time. It was when the Equity building used to still be on 40. It was right there in Midtown, so we'd go in there, and I went to the Equity call for ensemble, and it was the cats call, and they ran it that they taught the original choreo, and they walked around as you were dancing and said, "No, you can leave. Yes, you can stay."
Wow.
No. And I had a "No, you can leave." It wasn't even like a give the dancer grace to absorb it, then come out and do it in small groups. It was like an immediate,
no, just
you're not it.
Get out of here.
So I was told no again for that, but
that's a brutal process.
It was pretty brutal. Yeah. So I think I stopped seeking it out as much as I used to, because I thought, oh, well, there's other dancers that could just dance it better, and I couldn't do it justice. And when I saw it came up on the Fulton season, I just felt in my heart, I was like, oh, I'm Jelly now. That's who I've matured into. Yeah. I said, oh no, that's mine. I am Jelly. I knew I could do it. So I didn't know how much our director and choreographer, who you have both known and interviewed, would want to trust my mature self with that role, or were they looking for someone who was, because I'm not in class all the time anymore. I'm teaching and I'm performing a lot, but I'm raising my babies and doing what I can. But
yeah, totally.
But I'm so honored. I knew vocally I could. Yeah. Because it is one thing when you get cast as Jelly, you got to realize you're going to sustain a high C many, many times, not just the first solo,
Yeah. Yeah. You're singing a lot.
Andrew Lloyd Webber writes his soprano one line I mean, we're rarely on the staff.
Yeah.
We're up there. At one point, it's a high E. Luckily, Richard Carsey, our musical director, he gave us an opt-down option for that, an alternate note, because it's such a, it's gorgeous. But,
it is. You definitely have a very challenging track for sure. I want to talk about your production now, but I want to start with the storyline, because I had Mark and Joey on, and they actually sent me a little bit of like what they shared. But also it's in the playbill, I noticed. Like it's in the program, is their version, which I did hear people around me reading, which I thought was really great. Like it's great to kind of give a little bit of this. So there's a couple things like fully called out, and there's a lot of lore that you can add to. So I want to start with, I think one thing that they called out directly for you is that Gus is your grandfather. And that you are presenting him as the choice, and very much presenting even at the end, like, that there's only 3 options for the Jellicle choice in this production, and you are presenting Gus as one of them. But that's kind of all you have. So what else did they tell you, or what else did you add? Like, what is your version of Jellylorum beyond that?
Great. So this is my version, and this is cool because rarely with a show like this do you do table work, but we had a 2-hour table work session, which was really neat. We knew the Mark and Joey's concept. We'd been dancing for a few days. I think we had almost the whole show in our bodies, actually. I think we had learned the whole show in our bodies, and then we sat down as a group and for 2 hours went around the circle and said, who are you? Who are you related to? What's your relationship with everyone else? And there's 36 of us, so there's a lot. There's more, so we're going to get to that. Right? Okay. So I decided that Jelly, Jenny, and Grizz knew each other, have a relationship. In our version, Jenny is Jenny Annie Dots for her scene, but then is sort of the grandchild of, or the relative of, for the rest of the time. Do you know this?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's how we've sort of said how she can, she's in her big cat body. Yeah. And then she shows her, how when she's her headlining self. And then anyway, so I believe these women are very close. I knew Grizz. I knew her when her and Misto were in the show. I know that she's had a child, a baby kitten. And I know that Grizz has left. And Jelly has had 2 litters and is currently pregnant with her 3rd. That's what I've decided in the show. So I researched gestation. I researched all of this, weaning. When can she be pregnant again? How, what is her health? And I think Jelly is a very well taken care of cat. I do believe she has an owner who was an opera singer and has passed away. And the owner passed away while she was in hospice care. And Jelly was very much a caretaker for her owner. And the hospice center has let Jelly stay on because she is such a loving, caregiving presence, like a therapy cat for the other people. When she sneaks away to the Jellicle ball, she gets to visit. I see kittens from my 1st and 2nd litter. I believe that Rumple, Teaser, and Mungo are from my 1st litter. And one thing that I do not stand for, and I Jelly, is people misbehaving, like acting out of, like, we're not following the Jellicle rules and respect rules. And that is what Mungo and Teaser do all the time. So, Mark and Joey asked us who we are after we'd had the show staged. So I am always around our Rumple Teaser, and I am around our Jerry all the time. And anytime they goof off, I give them a look, and both of them are like, and there's a couple dance combinations where they purposely like strut by me while I'm just sitting there cleaning myself and just shaking my head. And yet when McCavity comes around, both of them cling to me. They're close to me. I'm immediate. We talk about how does a cat feel by the way their spine is positioned. She's a cat I'm doing so many, like cat and cow. I'm in cow a lot because I'm constantly protecting, where the kittens will curl up, their spines will contract. I will constantly make myself bigger. And then there's a couple kittens. We have a lot of kittens, but a couple kittens who the costumes helped inform, oh, you're my baby, and a lot of them are like, I think I'm your baby, you know? And so, and it's so cool, in our Jellicle ball, when the king and queen get picked at the court and all this is happening, the kittens really circle around me. They're always leaning on my legs, touching me. So, and I think that I chose, Jelly's always wanted to be a mama, not necessarily have a partner. So I think I've chosen who I've mated with, and then, mated so that I could be pregnant and recreate and let them go on their way. Like, I definitely believe Tugger is one of my partners, and I have no feeling toward him. All the kittens are freaking out over him. I'm like, oh, he was wonderful to make my litter with. But
so Tugger's litter 1 or litter 2?
I think litter 2. Mm-hmm.
Who's litter 1?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I can tell you the rumor mill.
Who's the rumor mill?
Well, so the rumor mill is that there's a Buster Jones, Jellylorum.
Yeah, I would totally believe that
relationship.
Yes. Let's pick that.
The two biggest ones, and I have all the theories because I've played around with some ways to pull all the stuff out.
Of course.
So the two biggest for relationships are Buster Jones. That's obviously been one that was shared, and then I've kind of created this love triangle that I think exists between Buster Jelly and Grizzabella, and that's part of the animosity.
I love that.
And the other one is there's been some productions where there's Skimbleshanks. Could potentially the relationship.
So I thought that before I entered the show, but our Skimble is quite young in age.
Yeah, okay.
And he looks a lot like me too. So I thought, I wonder.
He's litter 2?
Yeah, I wonder if
litter 1.
I wonder if, because him, Mungo, and Teaser are very equaled set a lot. So I was like, I wonder if they were part of the that was my litter,
Okay.
So.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for more of The Wrong Cat Died. What about the new kittens? Because I love that I'm still waiting to get I've been promised from Joey that I'm going to get their stories, or at least some version of it, because I know that they created these from scratch.
So Joey took notes and has all of those. You've got to get it. Their stories are wild, but I think about 4 of them picked to be before we even talked. They were like, Jelly's my mom,
Yeah, okay.
But it makes sense to me. But they have some great... And a lot of them are Team Gus. I'll tell you that much.
All right.
But you'll hear my opinion when you're ready for it. But yeah.
I love this. So you've got 2 litters. Who are the other kittens that are is it some of the new ones, or are there any of the other ones
new
that
ones.
Are okay?
Yeah, they're I believe they're all new.
All new in the second litter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that second litter is all the new ones that are specific to this show.
Correct.
And this production. So, I mean, if you're not familiar with this production, I think you said there's 36, right? And so there are a lot of, I think most of them are teens too. They're teen performers.
We call them the teens, but I think they're half upper teenagers and then young college kids too. We've got, they're in their 20s, some are 2021. It might be equal.
Okay, and so they have different names. Some are names that are related to the cat's world, and some, I think one of them's just Joey's actual cat's name, and so there's some kind of fun. Yeah, and they got to create their own story.
They did.
And I'll tell you what's really cool about it is I knew that this was coming in terms of a production, and it is really amazing to see how the use of the space with the roller coaster and all this stuff. There are cats everywhere, and it's one of the most immersive I've seen. In the fact that they're behind you at moments, they're you utilize the whole theater, and having that many really makes it really unique because it just feels like you are truly part of the experience.
I could not agree with you more. I think you beautifully captured I totally agree with that, what this is.
Okay.
And I think our set is so unique, and there are so many places to crawl and play with people. And
how is Jelly using the amusement park pieces? Is there anything specific to that you are embracing more? I mean, obviously there's the peaks and pollicles as part of the show, and that's built into it. But is there any moments where you're kind of really utilizing the really cool set?
I think where I utilize it is they're the funhouse heads, right?
Yeah.
Those giant funhouse heads. That's on our second level. So it's the funhouse is level 2 level with our mez. And I crawl.
It's the boxes, right?
The boxes,
Like it's normally boxes.
Sure. So yes, of course. So they built out the boxes. We still have box seating downstairs, which is extremely immersive because you're sitting next to, an abandoned bumper car and a sky ride.
I noticed that there's 2 seats on each side that you are really like in the show.
Oh, you are in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jelly uses just the fun house on both sides. I crawl out. The end of the opening is that really, really high soprano line while our dancers are working their butts off. I'm up there just singing high C's in people's faces, in their ears and over their heads. So I crawl up there. I observe up there a lot. And naming of cats, I crawl up there. I'm not on the carousel horses. Let me see what else.
You need to get in that car with Bustifer.
I need to get in. I open the door for him. I know all the fun stuff. I get people in, but I don't ride on.
Mm-hmm. Is there any other cat relationship that we didn't cover that you fleshed out?
I don't think so. I mean, my love for Gus and relationship with Gus, we talked about a little bit. I think as a performer, just getting to be a caretaker for someone is so incredible on stage. And as a human, I love to do that in life anyway. To care for people and getting to care for Gus, I feel like I would just say is such an honor as an actor to be at this point, to be able to sing that song for him. And I think if you're doing it right, I mean, it's true. I don't get any applause. It's 100%. Like if I can channel all of my love and my support into a character, like this is a character that does that, all Jelly just lifts, holds, cares for, guides that sweet Gus moment. So I love that.
Yeah. Is there any moment, like any part of you that's like, it's my turn? Like,
it's funny you say that because the other day I was listening to people, when we first got the music to Peaks and Pollicles, I was like, this is wild. Because that wasn't on the national tour version,
That's the first time I've ever seen it on stage, personally.
Well, you can't even search it, because I was like, let me listen to a recording to get this in my... You can't find it. I love it. And it's funny because we've had so many people come to the show that are like, oh my goodness, Gus, from the moment you introduce him through his whole story, to the wrap up. Oh, he's so like, I think I'm doing my job right, is what I'm saying. And no, I don't feel that. It just is. It's funny that, like, oh, I'm also singing and also, but you'll never hear it. You'll never hear, oh, Jelly's so great in that moment. Nope. If I'm doing it right, you'll only hear about Gus. And that is all I'm hearing. So it's a good thing. And it feels lovely to sing. And it's funny how much I love Peaks and Pollicles, too. He is so good in that number.
Oh, it's incredible. I mean,
James
incredible.
Is fantastic.
And we're having James on, so we'll get to ask a little bit about this as well.
I love and adore him so much as a human. And getting to be, 2 feet away from the moment where he goes back into his current body and his current age, and when his eyes, for a moment, when he says the words, I remember it when, but you can see when he decides as an actor to go to the space where I don't remember, and just getting to be hands on him in that moment is like, oh, if I do nothing else as a performer, I'm honored to do that next to James. He's so great.
Yeah, I do love that. I think like it's such a important part of the persona of Jellylorum is to be this like selfless caregiver. And I always kind of laugh because it's like you do this, but by the 6th week you're not gonna be like, all right, one time here, I can't get some applause.
What's really cool, I think, is that I get to dance with all the cats and kittens in McCavity, dance it out hard and strong. And so, at that point, the audience is flipping out. So I feel like that's where I get to feel like, I was a part of that, But no, I think I knew what I signed up for, and I love it. It's honestly, I don't get nervous with Jelly because the focus isn't on me. I'm only talking about someone else. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise in that way too. Yes, you don't get the applause, but I also don't have the pressure. It's like lifting someone else.
So you mentioned that you're having a third litter.
Yeah, I think she's pregnant.
So who was the mate? Do you know?
I don't think it's anyone at. I know it's boring and disappointing, but I have thought for weeks on this, and I don't think it's anyone there.
It's someone back at the hospice.
I think he's a cat that rolled on through. But I think she really checks out who's she going to decide to mate with.
Okay, that was going to be I like to give ideas for you to try on stage.
Okay.
And so one of them was going to be to essentially use the show to not ask, but to kind of all right, here's who I kind of gave a little question to, a little nod to, like is McCavity going to do it? Is Monkish Trap going to do it? Who are your choices that aren't part of litters 1 and 2? And can you kind of give them a nod during the show, or give them kind of that question without telling them, and then seeing if they recognize it, and if it's I did figure out who the 4th litter is going to be now.
I love this. Yes, I think I know who I would do that with. So my task is to do this without saying it to them.
Yeah, and see if they pick up on it, if they notice. Because what I love about this show is because it's so undefined.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, even if you've written the stuff out, you can make some minor tweaks to looks and pause and little nods too. So that was kind of one of my ideas. The other idea would be to take a cat that maybe you wouldn't necessarily be part of litter 1 or 2. That's maybe I shouldn't have the relationship with them, and kind of have the during one of the performances be maybe that is the cat tonight, and kind of give them a little extra love. But I'm curious who that would be, because I don't know who else. It's probably McCavity, Monkish Trap.
There's Monk is always an option, but I think Play-Doh in Act 1.
Play-Doh.
I really do. Yeah, that would be.
Okay, so those are the two I would say play around with, and see if you feel if it works or if it doesn't, because that's the fun part. It's sometimes you start doing it this just doesn't fit.
It doesn't feel right.
This does not feel right.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and that's I think what's cool. Again, it's a way to make the Saturday matinee in a couple weeks a little bit when you're doing that grind, and it's all right, let me try this tonight.
Yeah, I love this. Challenge accepted.
Okay, let's do some rapid fire to get to the important question. So, if you could go on for one night, any cat, male, female, doesn't matter. If you could do it, sing it, dance it, who do you want to go on as?
You know what? I'm going to say Skimble.
I love it.
Yeah.
Fun cat. Yeah.
Fun, easy, fun.
Who are your favorite and least favorite cats? I'm going to say this question from a personality standpoint. So ignore the actors and performers. If you were which is the family member that you'd like to hang out with, and which is the one that's going to bug you?
And am I answering as Jelly, or am I answering as myself, Katie?
As you, Katie.
Okay, great. I mean, I think it would be so fun to hang out with Demeter and Baum, because they seem like a great time.
Yep.
So probably them, for sure.
Okay.
What's funny is I probably wouldn't want to hang out with Jelly, because she probably wouldn't be that adventurous with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you need her when you're sick, and otherwise.
I was going to say, if I really needed something, I'd go to Jelly for sure. But she probably wouldn't be my one to go hang out with.
Yeah. She's the first call if you're in trouble.
Exactly. Yeah. She wouldn't annoy me though, but.
Favorite song in the show?
I mean, there's Memory, and then there's Memory when Sarah Shepard does it. So, and there's listening to those words. I've loved this show my whole life. Listening to those words now.
Yeah.
And oh man, now I get it. I remember just thinking, why are all these old ladies in love with the song Memory when I was a little kid, But now I'm one of them, and oh my word. And I mean, anyone who's grown through any maturity, wherever you're maturing in your life or whatever stage, that is an incredible song. So I'm going to say Memory.
Yeah. Okay. I love the amusement park theme, so I always ask one fun one. So which do you think would be the best carnival worker? Which cat would be the best carnival worker?
Oh my gosh. Okay, definitely not Rumple and Teaser, because I wouldn't trust them, and I'd be afraid to get stuck on the ride. I mean, probably Monk, because he'd be so in control.
So I think there's three answers.
Ringmaster. Okay, go ahead.
I think there's Monkish Trap and Skimbleshanks.
100%.
Because those two would keep everything in order and would do everything. I think the other answer, though, is the twins, because I think that if there's, like when you go to a carnival or you go to any amusement park, there's always the ones that are guessing like your age and your birthday and whatever the month of and date. They would know all of it.
They would.
So
know
I think that they would be great in like just full on scamming people out of the money at the carnival.
You nailed it with that. And there's also something so mysterious about them, that lure. Like, at a carnival, you're kind of like the excitement too. They'd be perfect.
Okay, and now the $1 million question.
I know.
Is that I've argued I don't think Grizz the right choice. So I want to know, who are you picking and why?
I think from the get-go, and this is Jelly speaking here. I think from the get-go, Jelly's Gus, Team Gus. But I think Jelly, being who Jelly is, right away when I first see her in our show, I am protective. I'm the one who takes Syllabub away from her because she is a mama, has left a baby.
Yep.
And then I look at her when she sings to us. You see her coat, you see her, and I know who she is, and I see my friend who's sick, and I know she's in pain, and I know she's dying. And I see the person I love more than the cat I love more than anyone in the world, Gus, and he doesn't know. He doesn't know he's that sick, and he doesn't know he's not unhappy. He's okay. So I would send Grizz.
So you pick Grizz. That's your Jelly answer.
That's my Jelly answer.
What's the Katie answer?
Oh my gosh, Gus.
Okay,
so
I'm putting you down for Gus though, because I'm asking from you. You are. If Mark and Joey are doing their job well, which they're incredible at it, they need to make you believe that your character is sending Grizzabella. So I expect your Jelly to want Grizzabella.
They have made me believe. I believe it. Yeah.
But I like that your Katie version answer is Gus. Oh yeah,
my Katie version. It's like, oh, that sweet little Gus. Yeah.
So we're putting down Gus as the vote then.
Oh Lord. Okay. It's fine.
And that's okay. No, there's no doubt that the whole show is built on this redemption arc.
Of course.
And that's critical to the show. And I think what you said is the part that I think is, to me, the debate is what is, like, is she going to make it another year? How old is she? Is she in that much pain? And what does being the choice mean, right? Like, that's kind of the open, unanswered question. And I've argued for a long time that I don't think she should go, purely because I think she should be welcomed back to her family. Like, especially in your story.
Me too.
Where Syllabub is, like, very clearly her daughter. It's like, well, can she spend some time with her daughter? You, like, give her a year, give her one more year.
100% agree with you. And so Katie would love to send Sweet Gus and let Grizz be with her family. She's finally got a tribe again.
Yeah, and you can take care of her. You've been taking care of Gus.
100%.
Jelly's ready to make sure she makes it through the year, and then she goes next year.
Yep. Yeah.
My other question is, where in this production, this is a minor spoiler, but the way that she goes to the Heaviside Layer is by roller coaster. Yeah. So how do you interpret that part of this? Well,
Jelly or Katie answering?
I want to hear Katie's answer.
I mean, I interpret that it would be sending her to her next life, but as a human, I'm to start again, her whatever number life she's on, but as Katie the human, I'm like, do the cats just not know where the roller coaster ends up? Like, I don't know.
I really like that part because it's a fun way to do it. Like, it's a really unique way, and it really leans into. I love that Mustafa's like brings back the abandoned park to life, and then it's like the ride's working again. Yeah. But then I did kind of laugh because I'm like, all right, now this is her way up. And by the way, the Russell Hotel being the Russell hot pretzels is brilliant. It's just absolutely brilliant.
That blew my mind. I am very impressed by that as well. And if you notice, Misto is pulling the roller coaster to us.
Yes.
Everything, the perspective changes. It's really interesting. Yeah, they married that very well.
Yeah, they did an incredible job kind of utilizing some of the technology and the space and telling the same story, just with, again, a tweak, which is always really fun.
Yeah.
You're only a couple days in from recording this now, so I hope you enjoy the rest of the run. Like, you got many more weeks. This will come out. There'll still be many weeks after this comes out. So if you are listening and can get to the theater, to the Fulton Theater, please go and get tickets. It's so well done, and y'all have a blast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. How can people stay in touch with you on social media or just in general on things you're doing?
Social media. I'm on Insta as well as, Facebook, because I'm an old lady. Apparently that's what we do. And I'm local to Lancaster now, so I do perform at the Fulton quite a lot. I think I'm up in my 43rd show, I think, there or something.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'll travel through the summers. I've been back to traveling for some regional theater. Obviously not this summer because it's an extended contract, but during the school year, I like to be here because both my kids are in school now. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll link everything for the Fulton too, and how to stay in touch.
Okay.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing your story. Thank you so much. Amazing. And thanks everyone else for listening to this episode of The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of catastrophe. To follow along, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of those podcasts. Follow us on social media at The Wrong Cat Died, or check our website, thewrongcatdied.com.